on WTA Tour Tennis, we're on the road to sunny Florida to check out the moves at the Tour's biggest event outside the Grand Slams.
While we're there, we find out how the men's and the women's tours get along when they share the same venue.
We're looking close up at the relationship between player and coach.
And catch up with Key Biscayne's most famous tennis-playing resident.
We begin in Paris, the stylish home of the $430,000 Open de Gaz, a galaxy of stars this year, and a chance for the Parisians to welcome home Mary Pierce after her triumphant trip to Australia. Her semi-final opponent, the exciting 17-year-old Eva Maioli, seeded 4 here, had to contend not only with Pierce's famed big hitting, but also her rapidly growing fan club. They were in for a treat. Maioli, to her credit, refused to be intimidated. Eva's father Stanko lapping it up as his daughter increasingly took the fight to her opponent. Pierce, the world number 3, was at full stretch, but took the first set 6-3. In the second, Maioli kept looking to dominate, but Pierce's resilience under pressure was mighty impressive. Equally laudable, the number 4 seed's quick thinking and impish improvisation. But in the end, Pierce was simply too powerful, too often. Pierce through to the final, 6-3, 6-4, to meet the incomparable Steffi. Heidi and Peter Graf back in familiar surroundings at courtside as their daughter competes in her first tournament after 3 months out with back problems. This, of course, a return to the city where last summer Pierce comprehensively beat her in the semi-final at Roland Garros. This time, Graf got off to a flyer. A disbelieving look, but Graf really was playing that well. It was going to take something extra special to change the momentum. Winners like that were too sporadic. Graf took the first set 6-2, but still couldn't relax. The Pierce power was beginning to flow, and the crowd were responding. Graf, though, was storming the net with increasing success. And here's Graf at 5-2, second set at match point. It had been just the return she dreamed of. Graf was beginning a run, but now seems certain to take us straight back to number 1.
So another tournament, another title for Steffi Graf. But behind every successful player is a successful coach. Just what do we know about these shadowy figures courtside? The Graf Guntard team is one of the most enduring. How do they keep it fresh?
What works for us is we're both a little bit different from each other, and And I think what helps me on the court is his vision. He has certain things that he envisions, and he's trying to help me to work on them and kind of like to turn me around at certain things where I get a little stubborn. And I think I've been more of a complete player since I started working with him.
A bit of amateur psychology is obviously vital to the continuing success of the partnership, but it doesn't have to be a social relationship.
You don't have to spend a lot of time together to have a successful working relationship. She has her family with her. I have a lot of times my family with me. So you practice and then we go different ways.
A close relationship then, though not a stifling one. But the demands of the tour mean that player and coach have to get on pretty well with each other.
You usually spend quite a bit of time during the year. I think it's probably like 25, 26 weeks that you spend together. And so you have to have a good relationship, and you have to have confidence in the person that you work with, as much as he has to have the confidence that I'm trying as hard as I can. And so that's been working well.
Another of the tour's most fruitful teams is the Czech-born partnership of Mandlikova and Novotná. They've been together since 1990, and Jana soon discovered that Hannah wasn't one to mince words.
The first thing I remember she told me 5 years ago was that I have to get in a better shape and that I have to lose some weight. So that's where we started from. But now, the longer we're working, the less faults I have, and we're trying to improve all of them. I feel that many coaches or sparring partners on the tour just really sometimes are afraid to say something and say, you know, you have to work harder, you have to do this and this, because they're afraid they're going to lose the jobs.
Mandlikova's uncompromising approach helped Novotná to her highest ever ranking last year, 4th, and she can't be far away from her first Grand Slam title. Her coach isn't planning on changing her style.
The way I look at it is that you really need, if you want to have a good relationship, coach and player relationship, you really need to feel that the player respects you. And if that is not in that relationship, it doesn't work. And I never start to do it because I need the money. And Jana knows that, and she knows that if she doesn't do what I say, or if she doesn't work hard, I just walk away.
Craig Carden switched from the game's most successful player ever to one of its rising stars, Lindsay Davenport. How does he see his role?
You wear a lot of different hats as a coach, I think. You're a motivator, you're a psychologist, you're a doctor sometimes, tennis coach, friend, and it's interesting. There's never a dull moment.
Davenport doesn't hide her will to win, but how does a coach handle those times when it all goes wrong?
You have to pick the right moment to sort of discuss things, and players pretty much let you know when they're available, when they really are ready to hear what you have to say. And so sometimes they're not ready, and sometimes you need to tell them anyway. But that's just part of the job.
3 different case studies, 3 different approaches. But whatever the style, the aim is generally the same.
The number one is the player has to respect you and do what you tell them.
Tennis is a game that you can never play perfectly, and there's always room for improvement.
All you can do is prepare your player the best you know how to, and then it's up to them once they get on the court.
If you enjoy the challenge, there's certainly a challenge out there.
Welcome to beautiful Key Biscayne, Florida, for the Lifting Championship.
In late March, the WTA Tour rolls onto Florida for the Lipton Championships. The Key Biscayne stop has been dubbed the 5th Grand Slam. One player who knows the place well is the 7th seed. She likes the area so much, she bought a second home there.
The climate is very good. It's warm. I love it. And the place is beautiful, too. There are many things you can do. On the water, then to go out, you can go to South Beach. A lot of people, a lot of restaurants, places to go and dance. And it's fun. I really feel at home.
I have a great apartment and I'm very comfortable there.
The Lipton Championships are in effect Sabatini's adopted home event, and as a local resident, she gets plenty of support from her neighbours.
I have pretty good chances. I feel I can do very well. The crowd is behind me. That makes a difference too. So I love it. I wish I could win the tournament.
So too did three-time winner of the event and defending champion Steffi Graf, along with number 3 and 4 seeds Jana Novotná and Lindsay Davenport. Arantxa Sanchez Vicario had similar aspirations, only to fall in the third round to Marianne Verdel-Wittmeier, a player who had tested the world number 1 in a previous encounter. Hardly the best way to go out, but Arantxa accepted defeat with her usual composure.
I'm not disappointed because I didn't win a tournament. I think that if I continue working this way, it will come, the time that will change, and I just have to think positive, I think. But it's many more tournaments to play. It's only the beginning, and you cannot win everything. I mean, that's the way I see it.
Gabriela Sabatini, champion here in 1989, had won the last 4 of her 5 meetings against Kimiko Dati and began the Lipton semi-final in exhilarating fashion. Dati was getting a grilling. The number 5 seed won the first set 6-1 and kept turning the screw in the second. Victory seemed a formality, but just as in her 93 French Open quarter-final against Mary Jo Fernandez, Sabatini somehow lost control of a match in which she'd led by a set and 5-1. Dati, throwing caution to the wind, began to deliver some shattering blows. Dati had produced the most extraordinary comeback of the year and would now face Graf.
For most of the year, Grand Slams aside, tennis fans flock in either to see the girls or the guys. But Key Biscayne is their chance to get the best of both worlds. This is the moment when the two tours meet, and the man running the whole show says it's great.
I think this is the way tennis should be presented. I believe that our fans and our sponsors want to see all the best tennis players, both male and female. Obviously, the Grand Slams provide that, and Lipton provides that, and hopefully this is a model for the future.
And it's not just the fans who enjoy the sight of the best players of both sexes on the same court.
I think it's great, and you kind of get sick of just watching the same bunch of people, week in and week out, but especially when you have friends on the guys' tour, it's cool to be able to hang out with them as well as the girls and see some great tennis.
Of course, Key Biscayne has its off-court attractions too, so will Sabine Appelmans be going to the ball?
Well, I think I'm going to go, especially because I'm out of the tournament now. But yes, we usually go out to dinner at night. We've been to Coconut Grove and we've been to the Bayside, and it's really nice. I enjoy it.
Whether it's a case of drowning your sorrows, celebrating victory, or maybe just licking your wounds, the message from Lipton seems to be play hard on court during the day, play hard off court at night. And even if the diet might not be what your coach recommends, well, they do say that dancing is supposed to be among the best forms of exercise.
A 14,000 sellout crowd to watch the final. Kimiko Dati seeded 7 against the champion whom she'd never beaten in 4 attempts. She soon found out that the Graf forehand was in perfect working order. Dati had come on court after extensive treatment to a shoulder injury and without a practice. Only occasionally was she able to stem the tide. The first set went to Graf, 6-1, and in familiar fashion. In the second set, though, Dati provided some counter-punches of her own. Graf may have lost the point, but the back doesn't seem to be too much of a problem here. And Dati's free hitting in the second set showed just why she's threatening to have her best year ever. The three-time champion was being forced to raise her game again. Dati, though, was showing as great a range of shots as we've seen from her throughout her career. At 5-2, serving for the match, Steffi was broken. But second time around at 5-4, there was no mistake. Her fourth Lipton title, her third successive tournament win of 95, she could well be about to dominate the game like she did in her Golden Slam year of 1988.
Time now to see who's been winning prizes elsewhere on the tour. In Oklahoma, another big payday for big serving Brenda Schultz. In Linz, another supreme performance indoors from Jana Novotná. Back on the winning trail, Mary Jo Fernandez in the desert. The first senior title of Jeanette Kruger's career. And Steffi Graf claims the 88th title of hers.
In the top 10, there's been little change, just Natasha Zvereva slipping one place for Kimiko Dati. Pierce at the Lipton, but she's still at 3. At 2, and with 3 wins since returning from injury, Steffi's breathing hard down the neck of Arantxa. But will she be able to topple her Spanish rival in the clay court campaign?
Although she lost in the semis in Florida to Kimiko Dati, Gabriela Sabatini is getting her game back together. After winning no tour titles for 2.5 years, she took a month off last summer and then employed a new coach, Juan Núñez.
I think what happened, I have my own theory about what happened to a lot of players, that they come out especially at a young age, and they do need the parents to guide them because they're teenagers. They do need the agents to guide them in the business aspect. They do need the coach to guide them because they're learning, the process of learning. The player by nature is trying to become independent, and I think Gabriela was in that stage with those 2.5 years of, becoming from teenager into an adult and become independent and start making her own decisions. And the difference now is that Gabriela is making her own decision.
With a lot of hard work and encouragement from Núñez, Gabriela finally ended a 42 tournament title drought. With persuasive wins over Martina Navratilova and Lindsay Davenport, she lifted the crown at the year-end Virginia Slims Championship.
I needed that for a long time. It's like taking a lot of weight, off my shoulders. And, I was playing well for some moments, but I couldn't keep that consistency. And finally it came. I think it had a lot to do with the match against Martina. That was a big one. I think that was the key of the tournament. Playing that match, it meant a lot to me. And, all the work I've done, it paid off, and that's a good thing.
And she credits Núñez as the man who helped turn her game around and rediscover the killer instinct.
I think he helped a lot. You know, we're trying to put more aggressiveness on my game, trying to, you know, be aggressive on the shots, just step into the court and hit the ball hard. And I think the ball is moving a lot. It's going very aggressive, very deep.
Coach Nunez could also see other areas of her game that needed improvement.
I always felt that she needed work on her serve, definitely, and her forehand was landing a bit too short, with a lot of spin but too short, so it was giving the opportunity for the opponent to take control of the point. And those were the two areas which I worked in with her. Gabriela has a great variety of shots. She can hit a topspin, high topspin deep. She can hit a slice. And like I told you before, what it was missing on Gabriela was a punch, was a put-away shot, something that she would take control of the point instead of hitting another topspin when she has a short ball. And I think now she has that shot.
2 months later, and another title, this time in Sydney, at the receiving end again, Lindsay Davenport. Finally, one of the tour's best supported players has made the breakthrough. She says the best is yet to come.
Obviously, the Grand Slams are the most important tournaments, and I would like to win another one. I feel my game that is going in the right direction, and I feel it's coming. I'm hitting the ball very well. I'm comfortable, and things are getting better.
She's playing for herself. She's enjoying the game again, and by doing that, she's going to win, and she's going to make a lot of people happy.
Steffi Graf's win at the Lipton certainly made her bank manager happy, pushing her past the $15 million mark in career earnings. She's now a mere $5 million behind Martina. Till next month, goodbye.